Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Okay, let's just get right into this video. I have made so many videos about Jeffree Star at this point that if I don't make a video talking about his apology that he put out today, then it will seem very disingenuous to my channel. So I thought I've got to get on here and I've got to address what he put out there and how I feel about it and on and on and on. And I have watched several of the other drama channels that already have their videos out, and I wanted to kind of see what everybody had to say. I was reading Twitter, I was reading the comments. The video is actually being very, very well received. So if you don't know, what you don't know is a lot. Go back and watch my other video that I made about Jeffree Star the other day, and it was called Jeffree Star's Apology. This morning, he put out an apology video, or early this afternoon, where he talked about his racist comments from the past, and the things that he's done, and how he's been perceived, and he talked about who he was in the past, and who he is now, and who he wants to be, and that he's constantly trying to change and being a better version of himself. I watched the entire video. I tried to go into it with an open mind, and I have to say that I was very, very impressed with what he did. You know, I think to get on video and to kind of just own your truth and to say, hey, listen, this is who I am today. This is who I was. I know I offended a lot of people. That's not my intention anymore. I want to be a different person. You know, I think that that's remarkable, okay? Kudos to you, Jeffree. It's going to be interesting to see what happens now, and I am not going to get on camera and tell anybody what they should do with that apology, okay? I do not have the relationship with Jeffree Star that many of his fans and many of his subscribers and many of his people out there that have bought his makeup for years and years and years have with him. I just started watching Jeffree Star when he got on YouTube a year and a half ago. I really only started watching him when the whole meltdown between he and Kat Von D happened. So I've kind of sat back from afar and watched him. I do not have the same emotions attached to him that a lot of people have. And I think to go and tell somebody, well, this is how you should feel as a result of this video, or this is what, you know, why aren't you seeing it this way? And I think it's really right now an opportune moment for all of us, okay, to sit back and go, now what are we gonna do with this? Who do we wanna be? You know, one of the things that I really liked that he talked about in the video, I have to say, I didn't feel like he made excuses. I don't. I feel like he owned his past, and he said, it will not happen again, okay? And that was the piece to me that I was so impressed by. When he talked about the hatred on the social media, and what he had done, and who he wants to be in the future. And I will tell you, that's a very dangerous thing to do in a video, okay? And I was one of the channels that encouraged him to get on there, and I'm sure he has no clue who I am, but to make a video, because I thought, you know, like, he's done it on Twitter, everybody's gonna say, well, he already made the video. If you go look at the comments on my video, everybody was like, well, you already made this apology, right? But now he's done it on video, okay, and it's there, and people can go and they can hear his story, and they can judge for themselves whether they think he's changed or not, and on and on and on. And I think that's important. And a lot of people are going to believe him, and a lot of people are going to forgive him and say, okay, at this point, I choose to forgive you, and I choose to, like, allow my relationship from afar as a viewer, as a fan, to grow. A lot of people are going to say, Jeffree, I appreciate what you said. I'm still hurt by what you did. And a lot of other people are going to say, no, ma'am, okay? I don't really care what you say. I'm never going to accept an apology from you. I'm never going to accept any kind of story from you. I'm done with you. It's over, right? And I totally get that, okay? There have been people in my life that have hurt me to the core so much that I'm just kind of like, it doesn't really matter what you say. I'm done with you. There are others in my life that have come to me and they have owned their shit and they have said, hey, listen, I know I really hurt you and I don't want to be that person anymore and it won't happen again. And I've accepted their apology, I have forgiven them, but I have also watched closely, okay? Because I am a believer that actions speak louder than words. Jeffree said in his video that he doesn't want to continue to perpetuate hate on social media, and I think that people will be watching very, very closely to see what he does. So this is just the beginning of, I think, moving forward. But I do think of that volume of who he is, you know, he's grown up on social media, and to have all of this, you know, attention brought to him, and then to get on video and actually make it. And there were parts for me, and people can rip it apart, people can say what they want to say. There were parts to me that were extremely heartfelt, okay? Where he almost seemed like he was moved to tears. And, you know, a lot of what we see is just online personas of everybody. And I think that at some point we have to kind of just sit back and go, you know what, we're all human. And I think this is a really, like I said, an opportune moment for all of us to grow together. What do we want to do with this? You know, any kind of derogatory statements, no matter who you are, okay, whether you're saying them, whether you're putting them in a video, whether you're perpetuating hate, whether you're perpetuating the discussion, we're part of what we choose to do with that. We're part of allowing that to continue to move on and continuing to grow, or we're also part of saying, enough already, I'm going to stop. I choose to live my life out of compassion, empathy, and love. And so I guess that we all at this moment have this opportunity to do what we are going to do with it, and all of our journeys are separate. So at this point, he's put this out there and he said, do with it what you want, okay? This is my truth. I can do nothing more than to continue to put it out there and to make the most of it. And I will say one thing that I was really impressed with. I do not believe that he monetized this video. There was no ad on it when I watched it. So I don't believe that he monetized this video, and I think that to some degree that speaks volumes, especially when he had just, because he could have made a lot, I mean, you guys, this video has so many views right now. You know, and I think that what he's saying is, this video is me just getting on there and speaking. And I think in, you know, reaction to what's happened the last couple days, it's going to be interesting to see what people do with this, what we turn with it, and what we can make it. Because, you know, this could be a turning point with people coming together, people forgiving one another, people stop fighting on social media over these issues. You know, I'm going to continue to make drama videos about Jeffree Star. I just am, okay? You know, when he puts a palette out and there's something funny, haha, kiki about that, I'm going to make a drama video about that. My video the other day, I never intended it to be quote-unquote a drama video. Maybe it is, I don't know, okay? But when we just talk about things like racism, we're talking about much deeper issues. We're talking about issues that have history. We're talking about issues that have history going back hundreds and hundreds of years. These are not funny things. These are things that lead to violence and death and ends of lives, okay? This is a life or death issue, and it cannot be taken lightly. So to tell somebody how to respond or to react to a certain video or to somebody's truth, I will never get on camera and do that. I think that each person needs to respond to it exactly how they feel, and then maybe sit with it for a little bit and think about, okay, now where do I want to go from this? But this is so much bigger than just a drama video, and I don't want to be part of that. But I did want to get on here and say that for me, I was impressed with him owning his shit. And now, let's see what he does with it. I wish you guys the best. I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.